And welcome back. Today we're flying out the Harrier Gr.3. The Harrier AV8A and the AV8C have the exact same fly model. The AV8A however has a little bit more flares. The Gr1 has weaker engines and of course the SRAMs. Other than that, all these planes are identical. I've made more videos about the Harrier, so I don't want to go too in depth on the flight performance. We all know what they are like right now. They have insane acceleration, not the best top end, and they lose a lot of speed in the turns. And in the Gr1 video I kind of discounted the fact that you can use the vectoring of the nozzles in a turn fight, and that's mostly because, well, at 10.0 back then every game was against MiG-21 Bisses, Phantoms and stuff like that, and then your turn rate isn't as important, and turning harder with, well, losing more energy at the same time, what's going to end up happening is you're going to get missiled across the map. But with the Gr3 as well as the AV8 at 9.7 it's a little bit less of a problem. But what I'm doing right here is I'm using the airspan, I'm using the acceleration to get over and behind the enemy team. MiG-21 however notices me and he's pitching for me now. He's gonna lose a lot of speed doing this, so I should be in the clear for a little bit. And I know there's a guy right below me, so I want to get rid of a missile first, shoot this guy down, because one of the strengths of the AIM-9Gs is the absolute insane range that they have. So we're gonna lock him up and then we're gonna go defensive for the MiG-21. Lock him up, 3.5 kilometers, no big deal for the AIM-9G if they don't dodge it properly. And there's a very big chance he doesn't actually see it coming. So we're gonna start turning in here, we're gonna start VIFing. There we go, missile hits him, we go defensive and we gun him out of the air. Now this all looks and sounds dandy, but if I miss that shot, I am dead. If that MiG-21 converts all his energy into altitude and then he comes back down on me, I am dead. If in the 5 kilometer vicinity there's someone with more than an AIM-9B, I am dead. And that's just how it is with this thing. You need to be careful when you start doing those maneuvers. You will burn a lot of speed, and if you miss the shot, if you do it at the wrong time, chances are it's going to get you killed. So in the game that I'm going to be showing you today, I won't be using it an awful lot. And here we are on the full game. A little bit of carry, 6 kills and an up tier. But the thing is, I'm doing the same thing. I'm climbing, I'm trying to get behind the enemy. The problem is they have a lot of AV8s. And the problem with AV8s is they have the AIM-9Gs. And if they are, well, planes with AIM-9Gs in the area, it makes it very hard for me to do anything, because the second I go below 800 kilometers an hour, they can almost lock me from the front aspect, because the AIM-9Gs are just that insane. So, AV8 turning into me here, I'm trying to get on his 6, he is slow, he's dumping more speed, he doesn't turn the best because he is slow, so I'm just gonna get an easy kill, right? No. While the Harriers are not the easiest thing in the world to aim, I mostly just whiff the shot there. Try to dodge the AIM-9G, managed to do so. And now I need to make sure that I, 1, don't fly into the ground here, and 2, I get away from this area. I'm in a very bad spot here. Luckily they break off. But being low, below 1000 in a Harrier mostly means you are just gonna lose all your speed. I'm still trying to be a little bit squirrely. I don't want to start flying straight, because that kind of invites them to go back down on me. Luckily they don't do so, and I'm just gonna be extending away from the area for a little bit. Kind of waste the AIM-9G there. Side aspect, already has someone on the 6. I wasn't really thinking straight about that one. Same with the first engagement, but we all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. So for now, just get a little bit of altitude, because this thing defensively is very, very bad, and that's mostly because people will drain you of your energy very fast. And once you are out of energy, you can, well, go VTOL mode and whatever, but that really doesn't get you anywhere in terms of a missile, and especially when you fight planes like the F-104s or just an F5, and that really just hinders your performance. Do not get slow, do not get caught out, because getting someone off your 6, when he's not going the same speed as you at a low speed turn fight, isn't the best thing in the world. So we wasted a bit of ammo, we wasted a missile, but we're now going 1000 again, and we can start going back in. I don't want to use the web too much. I want to use it in situations where I need to, and when I lay off the web I mostly go back down to about 90% throttle, because the engine of this thing overheats pretty severely. The F5 is going up, so I thought prime a missile, shoot one at him, but he actually notices me and he pulls back in here. So now there goes my setup, and we're gonna go pull back down. The Yak-38 is a very susceptible target to missiles. Luckily he's very slow and he loses even more speed than we do, so I'm just gonna hold the trigger yet again, because we do have 400 rounds of those Aidens, and he's gonna lose his wingtip. So I'm not really too worried about him anymore. He's probably gonna go into the ground. There he goes. I ran out of web, so now I kind of just want to make sure that I run on 90% throttle, but for now I wasn't really paying attention to that, because I was too busy paying attention to the actual battle. Go back to 91%. It's also a hot map, which really doesn't help. but there's an F100, an F5 as well as an F104 in the area, and I don't like fighting any of those guys. And especially the F5, because while the F104 and F100 will outrun me, I can at least beat him in a dogfight. The F5 becomes a little bit trickier. It's still doable, but it entirely depends on what he does. So I want to kill the F5 the most, and then the F104. But in the end, I need to carry, I need to kill what I can. F100 comes head on with me, and he's very slow. He's in a dogfight, kind of. So I'm gonna be hoping to dive underneath him, dodge a little bit, but I really want to just kill this AV8 right now, because I need to get these numbers down, and if I don't, I will lose the fight. Look how slow that F100 is, which is why I just kind of ignored him, and I can go for him right now, but then what happens is, this Verbal over here is going to run me down, and then I die. So I'd rather kill one of these guys, which is a higher priority target, as well as not paying attention to me, because they're on someone else. So for now, I really just want to make sure that one of these guys goes down. And the F5 goes very slow, missile doesn't track, explodes mid-air, which is, well, the opposite of what I wanted. But the F5 is right now pretty slow. We managed to crit him. F5 damage model, of course, doesn't care. We go ahead on with the AV8. Managed to pull in, he didn't have the angle at all. He has bottom mounted guns, and I was right above his nose. So unless we get a little bit of desync, he is not going to be hitting that. A9E coming our way. Not really much of a problem. F5 is at this point severely damaged, and I want to make sure that he dies, because if he dies, then I'm gonna be all Gucci. So F5 on R6, last two enemies, or the other two enemies, are going RTB, so I just have free reign to do what I want now, and I would accelerate the F5 in this situation. Of course, when he's not crit, he can just go much faster than me, stick on my 6, and then start turning with me, burn all my speed away, then he runs away, and he energy traps me. I don't want that, but considering his situation here, he's gonna lose as much speed as I am, because he's severely crippled, and at low speed I can just start using my vectoring, which is exactly what I will do right here. Not really necessary, but, you know, it showcases the plane a bit nicer. I don't want to go all the way, I don't want to keep some speed here in case he tries to run away, so we get on the 6 now. He's just severely crippled, he's not going to be doing much. So look how slow he is, shoot a little bit too low, shoot a little bit too much to the left, and we blow his wing off, and we are going to go RTB. And now it's 1v2, so what do I want to do? There's an F104 and an F100, I don't want to take the F104 head on, and I know that the F100 is right behind him. The F100 is a little bit slower, so I don't want to go too much head on with him. He has the Vulcan, way more range than the M39s, as well as the ability to just hose me across the map, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna keep flying straight. The F104 will take a little bit to turn around for me, and I know that the F100 is alone over here, and I really want to kill the F100 first here, because he's the weaker plane of the two. And you can see that I kind of switches my narrative now, because at the start I wanted to kill the most dangerous plane, but in a 1v2 I want to get the numbers out of the way as quickly as I can, because after I kill the F100 I can focus on the F104 completely, and then I at least won't have to deal with getting third party. There comes the first missile. I know both of these guys don't have anything better than A9Es and A9Bs, so I'm not really too worried about the missiles. And the F100 is crit, and you can tell that he's not doing very hot. We turn in, pop a flare just for the sake of it, but we want to make sure that he doesn't hit this shot. So we roll over, we get out of his nose cone, and we're gonna go head on with the F100 again. He took it the first time, he's probably gonna take it again. We missed it, dodged the guns, and we accelerate away. And I'm doing this in a very slow, collective, calculated, whatever you want to call it, manner, because that F100, look at him, he's trying to turn for me right now, and look how slow he is. It looks like he's flying away from me, but in reality he's trying to chase me right now. You're gonna see that missile come off in a second. He's just that damn slow. So right, like this, as long as the F104 just tries to stick on me, he gets one shot on me, I dodge it, and then I have just the ability to go back for the F100 again. So this F104 is really not playing it right. He really should have just stayed with his teammate, because his teammate is not able to keep up with him at all. It can't to begin with, but once the F100 gets crit, he really just becomes a little bit of a brick. So we dodge the F104. The F100 is so far away now that I can actually go for this guy. The F104 plays it right, does one turn, doesn't get the shot. I could have killed him there, but I whiffed the shot. It wasn't an easy shot, but I could have killed him regardless. And now I get both of them on my 6. F100, however, is still basically limping through the air, so I'm not really worried about him. But if they are not communicating and the F104 doesn't know this, then well, he doesn't realize that it's actually basically a 1v1. Teammates telling me to go to the airfield. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Not doing that. So, we go back into a little bit of a climb. Dodge the missile. Not the biggest problem, it's still an aim 9B. But now I want to turn into him. Lead them both into the same turn, and then I'm gonna reverse my turn to the right, because my turning circle right now is gonna be a little bit tighter. Dodge the head-on. Now we turn to the right, and look at that, they're both on the same side. And I'm gonna be shooting at the F-104. If I hit this, that's great. I'm not expecting to hit that, but if I do so, that'd be great. But it's mostly just to tell him, fuck off, I don't want you to come near me. He tried to dodge the rounds, and that's perfect, because that gave me the ability to just head on the F-100. He had so little air speed, there was very little chance he was gonna actually get that shot off, even with sim or something like that. Now I'm going pretty slow, I'm only going 700, so I'm gonna be trying to dip into the houses here, make myself as hard of a target as possible. And he doesn't have the angle, he simply does not turn hard enough. Hoping that the F-104G will start a turn fight with me, but he doesn't. And it's gonna be turning into a little bit of a run match, because, well, you can imagine he doesn't want to turn with me and I don't want to play his boom and zoom game. So it's gonna be a little bit of a boring game. And at this point it's basically just baiting people, some match tactics, and the real gameplay is kind of gone. I'm just gonna be chasing this guy around. I shouldn't have shot that aim 9G right there. I got a little bit overzealous, but I still have a second one left. So I wasn't really too worried about wasting one. I was more hoping that I maybe would have hit it. But look at this, the F-104 is just keeping so much more speed in that turn, and that's because his retention is much better. The Harrier retention is absolute dog trash, and you can tell that the second he levels out, look how much separation he's gaining. So, what do I want to do? I don't want him to get on my 6 just yet. I want to keep my airspeed up, but because he keeps turning for me, I'm kind of forced to do so. So I'm trying to get my speed up, and I'm just hoping he starts going straight, because when he does so, I can get my speed back up. And he does. He goes straight for a little bit. I go straight for a little bit. I can now go 1000. And we start accelerating, and I'm just gonna go straight for a little bit. I don't want a map border, however. So I do want to make sure that once he starts turning, I meet his turn and we start a little dogfight. He doesn't want to take it, however. He's playing it pretty safe. He's doing the right thing. But it's very annoying in the area because there's very little you can do. Look, he's just flat turning across this city, whatever this is. And now I get the airspeed. I have the position, and I'm simply gonna slightly climb, keep my speed, and get some separation in. I want him to get on my 6, I want him to get overzealous, just like I did with the missile, and then hope that he tries to stick on me. Gets greedy, does something, and he gets himself killed. He just broke supersonic, which means he's roughly 10% faster than what I am, and 10% at these speeds is pretty significant. So, we start leading the turn here, and the hope that he turns for us. Make sure that the thrust factor is all the way forward to keep the most amount of airspeed. I don't want to go head on, I don't want him to get scared, I want him to get kind of on my 6, so I'm going to be turning in front of him, and he doesn't take it. Very unfortunate, good on his end, but it's annoying. And this is why fighting people in 104s and stuff that play it right are just super boring to fight. And I know that's what they have to do, and I know I do the exact same thing when I'm flying that thing. I'm not saying that it's the wrong, that it's boring, that it's passive or whatever, because I do the same thing. But it's, well, I am gonna say it's boring, because you're kind of just forced, you're really just forced to wait on the F-104, and he can dictate his entire match. And I'm going kind of low on fuel here, and I'm hoping he is having the same problem. So I don't want to play it too passively. I want to kill him as quickly as I can, because I need to go RTB in a minute here. So he dies on me, I lead the turn again. I want him to get on my 6, but he's simply so fast that even if I force an overshoot, he is simply going to run away. So I'm just trying to stay on the 6 here in the hope that he's going to start another one of those very wide loops that he has been doing, and he does. Here he comes. I'm getting a little bit close now, and he's gonna go supersonic again. So we lead a missile, we shoot it off, he turns into it, and he dodges it. I probably should have waited a little bit with that missile. A little bit further range, I probably would have hit him. The thing is, he was so fast that I kind of just misjudged his separation once the missile gets close. And now we are both RTB, and we are gonna be trying to get him as he is taking off, because he's turning around. We take back off, we are right above his airfield, I see him right there, So I want to try to dive on him. Because once I dive on him, once I get really close on his 6, there's very little he can do. The problem is he notices me and he pushes his head on. And because he pushes that head on and then goes straight, look at the separation he's going to gain. It doesn't matter that I was diving on him, it doesn't matter that I was going much faster than him. I'm gonna lose so much speed in this turn. It doesn't matter if I did it horizontal, if I went vertical up, vertical down. So you can leave those comments right now. It doesn't matter how I did that turn, he would have outran me regardless. So I'd rather put some extra speed into altitude, because then your net burn is a little bit lower. And now we are back to square one. We are chasing this guy. And I'm just checking what he is doing. He has enough separation here to come head on with me. New targets for eliminating have appeared. So that means that I can start winning on tickets now. Do I want to do that? No. But this guy is clearly not taking the fight. And there is a difference between dictating the fight and not taking any risks and what he is doing. He's just trying to... He is more busy trying to stay alive than he is trying to win the match. Because like this, you are not going to win the match. You're going to give me the opportunity to do something. He could have ran me out of energy. He could have gone up. He could have done whatever he wanted and gunned me down. But instead, he's gonna opt for 7 kilometer separation, push your head on, dive to the deck and run another 10 kilometers away. And like this, you're not going to win the game, because right now I'm ahead on tickets. I'm not in a rush. All I have to do is keep you busy. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna be trying to pull in front here. I didn't have the lead. I shot there because I was expecting the nose to pull a little bit more. But I was already at 5 kilometers, which isn't very handy. We shoot the missile at roughly 1.6. He's going very fast, so this time I think the missile is going to get pretty close. But he cuts his afterburner, he flares it, he throttles back up, and he just runs away again. Missile explodes midair, it misses, and that's that. Kind of boring. So I'm just going to start taunting this guy. I'm just going to say you're going to lose, because that sometimes, well, kind of motivates people to actually start shooting at me. But you know, I'm still not in a rush. He needs to kill quite a bit of units. And instead of chasing him, I'm just gonna be, well, baiting him into going for me. Because I'm not gonna be chasing this guy around for much longer. I've had enough of this. Of course I want to kill him. But you know, if I can't, then I can't. So I'm just gonna break off. I'm just gonna say fuck it. And I'm going to make sure that he doesn't go for the ground units. He seems to be going straight for the vehicles, and I don't want that because they burned quite a bit of ticket. Look at that. Yeah, he's definitely going for them. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing to counter that. And this kind of ticket mechanic I do not mind. The ticket mechanic that I do mind are the ticket mechanics that drain themselves. AI attackers, pillboxes that shoot each other. So we shoot pillbox, that's 100 tickets down. We can only kill one for now. And I see that little hill, and I know that he just killed an M8, and I have a hunch that he is actually gonna come straight towards me now, and I want to make sure that I capitalize on that. I look on the map, he is moving away from the ground unit, so I have a feeling he's gonna be turning that direction. Let's see if I can cut him off. I have no idea where he is, but I have a hunch that he's gonna be right here. There he is, coming right at me, trying to make it so that I can go for the ground units. I shoot too low. Unfortunate, but by keeping him busy, he is not able to kill more ground units, and I have the ticket lead, so I'm not really too worried. I have him occupied now. He's going supersonic again. I don't even have the Mach thing on my screen, so he is about 20 to 25% faster than me. But again, I can just break off and go back for the pillboxes, and as long as I keep this guy in the vicinity, as long as I kind of protect the ground units, he can't really do much. He doesn't have the ability to kill that many units in a short amount of time, so he's gonna come for me here. I'm just gonna shoot a missile. I'm just gonna be turning into him, and he needs to kill me at this point. He is forced to take this fight, because if he doesn't, he loses. And I know this. I'm gonna throw everything into this shot. I'm gonna start vectoring already. Look how close I'm gonna get here. And look how much faster he is. And if he is something like a MiG-19, almost. The flares really just distracted that one. I'm just gonna hold the trigger down here. I know roughly where he's gonna go, so even if he dodges, I'm just gonna lay a blanket of rounds down and he flies straight into him. And that's a game. A little bit of a boring end, but you know, sometimes you have to show these kind of matches as well, because it gives you some opportunities to showcase this kind of gameplay as well, because I don't have much of that on my channel. And there you have it. fuck, that's boring. I said in the chat, yes, that was pretty boring. But at least we won the match. And I'm not sure why this always takes so long to tick down, because sometimes, very often actually, lately, every enemy in the enemy team is dead, and then you still lose on tickets because it takes like half a minute for the tickets to drain. But that's just a discussion for another time. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all in the next one.